Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Here we are, VTP Stage 2 Online, Technical Tuesday Coaching Call 201 for the 21st of July 2026. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a good start to the week. Hope you've enjoyed some of these moves in FX indices and commodities, okay, that we've seen based on everything that's going around the world at the moment, but more of that later. And if you want a bit more help and support, the Trader Accountability Group is running for Q3, helping you build discipline, accountability, and consistency in your trading journey. There's a bit.ly code there, there's a QR code there. You can ping me if you've got any questions or comments. Okay, let's start with a bit of US dollar action as always. Okay, so I've got my dollar profile here, Aussie on the daily, Euro on the daily, cable on the daily, dollar Swiss on the daily, Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD, dollar yen, dollar index. Okay, so as always, we start with the dollar index. Let's get a handle on what's going on there. Let me just go up to the weekly charts. Okay, so I'm just going to basically maybe draw that out a little bit, like that we had looked at it on the daily. Yeah, dollar strength sank back. Okay, I'd still call 100, 100 and sort of 50 kind of a zone of support there at the moment. Looked like it was going to break out in that kind of flag pattern, but as you can see for yourself, it didn't really follow through there. When I go down to the daily, we talked about here about how the 20 had been acting as really nice dynamic support, nice dynamic support, nice dynamic support. Oh, hang on a minute. We've kind of sunk a little bit lower there, haven't we? It looked like a kind of a bit of a, almost like a false breakout of the flag of the counter trend line break, and we've sank a little bit. And actually, if you look at that over these last couple of weeks, we're pretty much, just in a little bit of a block there, aren't we? A little bit of a kind of a range. So what's that? 114 places, 101.14. So, kind of 100 pip range there on dollar index. Okay, and you could probably even tighten that up even more, right? But there doesn't look to be like a huge amount of excitement there, okay, in terms of any clarity. All right. So what I'd be kind of intrigued is that the daily 20, all right, the daily 20, which acted as support, is now starting to act as resistance. See how its price is beneath it, and it's now the 20 is starting to flatten out. It's acting resistance. So I wonder whether we're going to get data and stuff that kind of works our way back down to 150. That would be kind of my bearish take on that. All right. So what would you then, you have to think, well, what would actually make the dollar go bearish and stuff? So then you're looking at Trump doing something in terms of Iran. All right. But as I said, that flip-flops more times than more than I don't know what. There's nothing I can sort of say about that isn't kind of rude. So we'll stay away from that. But that's not exactly. I wouldn't exactly say that's a terribly clear picture on dollar over the last week or so per se. And you're kind of looking at how that's playing out elsewhere. So we talked a little bit about this. We're going to look at Kiwi only, but even Aussie, all right, Aussie has kind of strengthened its way there a little bit. Okay, cable we'll look at in a moment. We're going to look at Swiss franc as well. If we look at euro here, euro dollar daily, yeah, I looked at this as maybe being a kind of a flag or a counter trend line break opposite of the dollar index, but once again, even a little bit like the dollar index, even the euro chart, if you look at that, has gone a little bit dull. Let's see what was the let's have a little look at their kind of numbers here. Give us an idea. What's that low? 1361, 1482. So we've been in 120 pip range, all right, for the majority of this month, and the majority of that has probably been actually even in a kind of in a sort of tighter range there between what being about 1440 and 1380. So it's kind of mostly been in a 60 pip range there, hasn't it? And you can see the moving averages are a bit coiled up, the price is a bit sideways. It's not exactly exciting. And as I said, are we waiting for a catalyst, or is this just everyone saying, you know what, sod this, I'm going away on my holidays, I can't be asked with this anymore, I've had enough of it. And you should never underestimate that kind of that human need to just get a bit fed up and just want a holiday. All right, that's where we are. But there's nothing there that really excites me at the moment. Okay, nothing that's leaping off the chart at me. Okay, that's what I'll look at there with the dollar. So dollar's a little bit dull there at the moment. Okay, dollar's not terribly exciting, is what it is. All right, we'll just wait for the next catalyst to see if it gives us a move higher, or as I said, if it basically sort of just falters because there's another new ceasefire for this week or something or other. All right, let's see how that plays out.